Prime Minister Modi is in Poland today, the first visit by an Indian PM in 45 years after Morarji Desai visited the country in 1979. Prime Minister Modi is also going to be visiting Ukraine on August 23rd in what's going to be the first visit by an Indian PM to Ukraine in over 30 years. Well, my colleague Vishnu Som is also now joining us on the broadcast here from Kyiv, getting us more from the ground. Vishnu, how significant, first of all, I would like to ask you, is this visit of Prime Minister Modi to Poland and then to Ukraine?
These are very, very important visits indeed. As you mentioned, it's the first visit of an Indian Prime Minister to Poland in 45 years. Prime Minister Modi will be meeting the Polish Prime Minister and the Polish President as well. Both sides looking to step up that relationship, which has a historic connect. Let me tell you a little bit about that historic connect because it is important. Way back in the Second World War, Indian and Polish soldiers fought in one of the landmark battles of the Second World War, the Battle of Monte Cassino, which was fought in Italy. In fact, we should have some images and shots of archive footage of that right now. Lots of Indian soldiers at that stage had died. Of course, India was under the British then. But in this battle, which was eventually won by the Allies, Indian and Polish soldiers fought together. Subsequently, during the course of the Second World War, 6,000 Polish women and children were given refuge in India by royal families in India, at a time of great distress across Europe. So there is that historic connect, and of course there's the economic relationship as well. The Prime Minister, subsequent to his visit to Warsaw, will be traveling to Ukraine. Remember, there are no flights to Ukraine, so he will be traveling most likely on a special train. He'll be in Ukraine for meetings with President Zelensky for a short period, approximately 8 odd hours. That will take place at some stage tomorrow. He is in Kiev, or he will be in Kiev at the invitation of President Zelensky. India's point is very clear in this. There needs to be territorial the territorial sanctity of all nations and sovereignty needs to be ensured at any cost, number one. And number two, there needs to be a negotiated, peaceful, diplomatic solution to the war, which has cost tens of thousands of lives and has gone on now for well more than 2 years. So two important visits that are now taking place.
Right. And what seems to have changed in the last 2 years, Vishnu, if I may ask?
Well, this is my third visit to Ukraine. I've covered the war 2 years back on two consecutive occasions where we've traveled the length and breadth of Ukraine. Kiev itself looks like any European capital, but what I can tell you is not too far away, just a couple of hours drive, are areas which are far more vulnerable, where we've seen a great deal of Russian attacks and bombing. At this stage now, the war has gone perhaps more out of control than what anybody would have thought a couple of years back. The loss of life has been absolutely immense on the Ukrainian side and on the Russian side. In the last couple of weeks, we've seen Ukraine make a massive incursion into the Kursk region of Russia. That perhaps is being done for tactical reasons at a time when Ukraine finds that its front all along the east of the country has been coming against fairly strong Russian attacks. So is that a tactical move to relieve pressure on the eastern front? That's certainly one line of thinking. But it is a war which Ukraine depends heavily on as far as Western military assistance is concerned, by which I mean weapon systems, bombs, bullets, certainly missiles, fighter aircraft as well, such as the F-16, which has recently been inducted into the Ukrainian service. But it is a war that isn't ending anytime soon. It's gone well past 2 years at this stage, and the entire world wants this to end. So will Prime Minister Modi, speaking on behalf of the Global South and certainly India and our foreign policy, which is independent entirely, come up with any out-of-the-box solutions to actually see an end to this conflict?